Injury report. Maxey, Josh are active. Lively's out. Brown's not with team. Williams is active and Fudge is inactive.
Jason, what would it mean to you guys to not only win the division but win 50 games this season?
Yeah, I think as we start, our goals. That's one of the goals for this team is to win the division. I think when you're in this league, to win 50 games plus, that benchmark means that you've had a good year, and so that's something that we're trying to do.
Do you guys found out late last night that you're guaranteed top six? Do you allow yourself to pause because it is an accomplishment when you won 15 or 17 to get it done? Yeah,
I think nothing changes here. We got the Heat in front of us, and that's what we're focused on. Understanding we're both coming off a back-to-back, and so both fighting for position in the playoffs. And so that's, we got a great test tonight against the Heat. We can think about that tomorrow on the flight home.
Okay. And can you explain the genesis of the Probably Heat t-shirts?
Yeah, I'm just one of the soldiers that carry it out and wear it. When you talk about the real MVP, our MVP, you talk about Luka, and so this is a campaign that is being displayed today.
Jason, what do you envision for your usage of Josh Green tonight?
Playing 48 minutes.
Wow.
Please wait for the microphones.
No. But Josh, we'll look at playing him 15 minutes or so. We're not going to, try to, kill him tonight. We'll play him around there and see how he feels in those first five. But that's the goal, to get him back into the fold, and then hopefully the experience is good so that he can continue to play the last two.
Jason, it was obviously a very different mood, very different energy at this time last year. I know the goal every year is to win as many as you can and go as far as you can, but was not getting in last year a motivation for this group, do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question, and probably a little bit complex because most of that group isn't here, and so this is a different team that's been put together. I think the positive of last year is Omax and D Live, and D Live being a big part of our success and our change. If we make the play-in game, we don't get D Live, and so sometimes taking a step back is, in some cases, it will be reported as fail, but it's all right to fail. The great ones have all failed and have turned that into success. So hopefully we can turn that failure of last year into success. Thanks.
Jason, will we see D-Live at some point these last two games, or will it not be until the playoffs?
Most likely not see D-Live for the last two.
Coach, your offense has obviously gotten a lot of attention during this 15-2 run, but you played the best defense in the league in that span. I'm just wondering what's gone into this improved, consistent defense.
Well, I think when you look at the trade of PJ and Gav, we got bigger. Nothing against Josh, but also just the lineup change. When you look at Derek Jones Jr. starting with PJ and Luka and Kai and Gav, it's a big group. I think also on this journey of talking defense early in the season, we got down about pace. So we got that solved, playing faster. We shot the ball well coming out, this at the beginning of the season. And sometimes defense, takes a couple weeks. Sometimes it takes a couple months. But I think this group understands how important it is to play defense. You can see that when we're not scoring the ball. We will lean in on our defense to get stops when needed, and there's a big trust on the defensive end right now, and that's at this time of the year you need that to be successful.
Hey, Jason, going to follow up on that pace comment you made. Just looks like you've really changed from year over year, being maybe a little bit more deliberate with Dončić doing a bulk of the ball handling last year with Kyrie and the consistency of those two guys playing together. What have you done to change the pace and maybe play a little bit faster this year?
Yeah, I think that starts with Luka. Asked him this summer, can we play faster? And his response is, we got to take the ball out faster. So, which is true. And so he has bought in. He was a big believer that we could play faster. As you know, it starts with your stars. If they believe in something, it makes the selling of what you're trying to get to the other guys easier. And I think it really had helped us early on, where they couldn't just load up on Luka and just, where it's just a heavyweight fight of him just trying to get the ball past half court. He threw the ball ahead, and we got, easy baskets that led, to open layups or open threes. And then with him trailing, I've always said this, I saw this when I played with Vince Carter and also Dirk. If your best player is your trailer, it's hard to guard because you can't have two ready to guard them. They can see what's in front of them before the defense. And so I think Luka's, bought into that. Kai has bought into that. And it makes the game easier for stars when they are the trail because they don't have to worry about beating two. They just have to beat one. And it makes the game a little bit easier.
It's kind of silly to ask you because I know you're going to be biased by it, but why isn't he more talked about as an MVP?
Game's too simple, too easy. He makes it look too easy, unfortunately. That's, what happens with some of the greats, when you talk about MJ and those guys, we take for granted their talent. And to say he's only 25, but he's playing the game like no one else. When you talk about the Joker and Giannis, it's a great compliment to European basketball and how dominant they are. But he makes the game look so easy. We've joked around that he might have to do the Larry Bird game and play left-handed. But he might make that look easy too. But I don't know why. That's a great question. Sometimes we might look at it that we have enough European players at the top, and we can't write about another one. And so, yes, I'm biased, but also, I've had the opportunity to coach Giannis, and he's great. I've gotten to see the Joker up close. He's great. But I think European basketball is at an all-time high, and they all should be, written about. But I don't know why. That's a great question. Maybe we should turn that around, and I should ask that to you guys.
You've been an MVP candidate before, finished high in voting. Have you seen a candidate that's got better credentials than Luka?
Yeah, there's always going to be someone who's left out that has had an incredible year. That's just the nature of this business. The talent pool is so high when you talk about Joker, you talk about Giannis, Tatum, Shea, and so, you can throw in Ant too, but he's only 22. So sometimes there's a waiting period too. That sometimes you just have to wait and be patient for that award. But what I love about Luka is it's about winning. It's about winning a championship, playing the game the right way, and being consistent.
Coach, Nikola Jović for the Heat has had two of his higher scoring games of the season back-to-back. What's kind of jumped out to you in the lead-up to this game about him?
Yeah, I think his comfort level, I thought last night he was really big. He made a big three. And just, I think, looking at his comfort level out there on the floor, his teammates trusting him. He has a very high skill set. When you talk about his athleticism. He's long. He can shoot it. He can put it on the floor. So you can see that he's getting comfortable playing.